again. My name is Mrs. Fithian, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at Hebron Elementary. I'm so excited that you're joining me again today as we continue our math adventure that we started yesterday. So if you remember, before we get started, we always do some sort of breathing activity to really calm down and focus in on our learning. Yesterday, I showed you a very silly way, since it's pretty warm outside and almost summertime, to slow down our breathing and focus, and that was using a mug of hot cocoa or hot chocolate. So we're going to continue that one again today, and then next week I'll show you a different one that's a little more summer friendly. So grab your mug or your pretend mug, and we're going to hold it, and remember, we're going to breathe through our nose to breathe in all the chocolatey goodness, but we're going to really try to puff out our belly while we breathe. All right, so let's take in a breath for 3 seconds, and I'll count the 3 on my hand, and then we breathe out through our mouth to blow off the hot cocoa so it's ready to sip. All right, here we go. Let's try 5 deep breaths today. Here we go. And one more. Good job. All right. Now that we're focused and ready, we can continue our adventure from yesterday. If you remember, we looked at my 2 groups of Beanie Babies. I'll kind of bring these over again today. And we were comparing them using 2 different strategies, and we were trying to decide which group had more, or I taught you a very fancy math word, which was greater. Very good. And we were looking at these 2 groups and deciding which one was more, or had more in it and was greater. And we tried 2 different strategies. We counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the second group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we also tried that second strategy, which I really like because it's a visual for me. And we matched the bears and put them into pairs. All right, so let's go ahead, since we've already done the counting, and let's match the bears, and then we're going to talk about the group that isn't the greater group. And what does that really mean? So let's do that together. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, and remember yesterday we ran out of bears in that second group, so we knew that this first group had more in it, so that was the greater group. But what do we say then about the group that is not the greater group? That group is actually a group of fewer or less bears. So you can practice saying the word fewer. Say fewer. Good, and fewer means less. Fabulous. So if we start using greater, equal, which we talked about yesterday, and fewer or less, we're really going to impress some people. Okay. I'm going to put my bears back, and we're going to look at these groups again. And this is the group of greater that had the 8, and this is the group we're going to focus on today, the group that has fewer or less. Now, we're starting with something simple by using objects, things that we can actually count or manipulate. Just like yesterday, I'll show you how we can use things like toy cars and buttons, and I actually brought some socks today, but I promise they're clean. And we'll practice how we can use things just in our house to compare groups of objects. Before we do that anymore with my activities, I have a wonderful video to show you from the Mage Math YouTube channel. They also have a website, which is also Mage Math, and you can go on there and actually play games in addition to seeing the videos. But this video today is from their YouTube channel, and I love the different videos that they have on there. So let's check this out.
Hello kids, I'm the number 1, and I'm here to get your help to learn about more and fewer. Can you help me learn about these words? Great, that is so awesome. Thank you for your help. Let's get started. Here on this table we have apples and bananas. Which do you like more, apples or bananas? I love both of these fruits, and they are going to help us learn about more and fewer. We have 1 apple here, but I am really hungry. I think I can eat more than 1 apple. If I want to eat more than 1 apple, do I want more apples or fewer apples? Great job! I want more apples, not fewer. Now I have more apples. If we count these apples, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 apples. We have 4 apples on the table. I am hungry for apples, but I cannot eat all these apples. I need to take some away. If I take some away, will I have more or fewer apples? Correct. I will have fewer apples. Right now I have 4 apples, and I'm going to take 2 away. Now I have fewer apples than before. Isn't math awesome? Let's look at this side of the table and see what's over here. There are 2 sets of fruit here. On the top we have bananas, and on the bottom we have apples. We have more bananas than apples. When you count them, we see that we have 3 bananas and 2 apples. There are more bananas than apples. Now, we don't have as many bananas. We have 1 banana and 2 apples. Now there are fewer or less bananas than apples. Let's look at another one. Are there more bananas than apples here? Pause the video and do your best. The answer is no. There are fewer bananas than apples. Let's try one more. Are there fewer apples than bananas here? Pause the video and do your best. The answer is yes. There are fewer apples than bananas. If we count them, we see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 apples, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bananas. And 5 is more than 4, so we have fewer apples than bananas. I hope you had fun learning more and fewer with me. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
All right. The Mage Math video is so awesome for giving us another way that we can compare 2 groups of objects rather than using animals or some of the things I've shown you before. So you could even try this at home if mom or dad or your guardian says it's okay. You can grab some apples and bananas or grapes, or even at lunchtime, you could be counting your goldfish crackers or whatever it is you're having and create a group of less or more, like we learned yesterday. Okay, so I've put together a few slides here that we'll look at on the TV, looking at more groups of animals. Today I kind of jumped into some zoo animals, so let's take a look at those and see if we can find which group has less or fewer. Now this first example kind of looks like our bears, right? So let's take a look and practice the 2 strategies that we talked about yesterday. The first one is the counting strategy, so we can go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this group would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, just like yesterday, I've heard some of you call out, you already know that 10 is greater than 8, and you're exactly right. But let's look at our question for today. Which group has less or fewer? So we want to flip our thinking and look for the group that has the fewest amount or the least amount or less. So just the opposite of greater. So let's use our matching strategy and see if that makes it a little clearer. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, and we're out of bears in the yellow group. I see that I have these left over, so I know that means this group is greater, so then this group is the group with fewer or less. So I'm going to circle that group today. So just the opposite of what we practiced yesterday. Let's take a look at another group. Okay, here's our zoo animals. We have some giraffes and some zebras. All right, let's just kick it off with the matching group. All right, so we're gonna be marking out 1 and 1. Remember, when you're at home and practicing in your packet, you can do that and mark off 1, 1, 2, 2. And when you're just watching at home, you could go ahead and try the counting strategy if you'd like, or you can follow along with me. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, and I see these little guys left over. So that means which group has less or fewer? This group of zebras. All right. You're doing great. Let's look at another example. This time we have some parrots and elephants. Let's stick with red. Let's match them. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. And I see that there are 2 more elephants. So what does that mean? Our group of parrots is the group that has less. So let's use a math sentence with that magic word today. So the group of parrots is less than the group of elephants. You say that. The group of parrots is less than the group of elephants. Very nice. Now you can see I'm getting quite a bit of a workout going back and forth between the two. And you might be thinking at home, that's a lot of marks to make. And you're right. This time let's try counting, and then I'll give you a little preview for next week. All right. So this time we've switched to our math counters. So instead of marking them out, we're just going to count them, all right? So I still am probably going to put a little dash, but we won't be hopping back and forth. So count with me, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to pop that number right here for a moment. And then let's count the other counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We already hit 12, so I know that I'm going to keep counting, which automatically makes this more. So that would be our group with less, but let's keep going. 13, 14. And this group has 14. Now, I didn't write the numbers yesterday, and I really am not supposed to be writing the numbers today, but I want to give you a heads up about what we're going to do next week. We're going to keep comparing objects, and I have something really fun with the Beanie Babies next week that I'll need your help with. But we're going to be looking at the 2 numbers and take away the objects. So if you are one of the boys and girls at home who's been yelling out the answer because you know when we count and you don't need that matching strategy, awesome. Those 2 lessons are going to be great for you. If you're like me and you like the matching and drawing all the little marks, that's fine. This is great practice for us today. And you always have both strategies that you can rely on and go back to. All right? So which group has less or fewer? That would be our group with 12. Now let's pop these counters into an arrangement that's easier to see using our 10 frame. And you'll notice that our 10 frame has doubled. And we have 2 10 frames, which is how many? 20. You're right. A group of 10 and a group of 10 is 20. As kindergartners, we really practice with our numbers from 0 to 20. When we're talking about greater and making groups that are bigger or have more and less than and fewer groups, we can really go as high as we wanted to with those numbers. But for these lessons, we're going to stick with 20 because that'd be a lot of things to count. Okay? So let's look here and take just a second and see if you can visually decide which one has fewer or less. And then let's count. I'm going to do something a little tricky. We don't have to count all 10 of these because we see it's a full 10 frame. So I'm going to say 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, and what do you notice? I ran out of dots here. I still have dots here. So this is the group with fewer or less. Okay? Let's look at this group, another group with 10 frames, or 20. And I think you can see the same thing I see right off the bat. They look identical. They look the same, which means they are what? We learned this word yesterday when we were talking about comparing. They are equal. So we have 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14. So 14 is the same as 14. They have the same value. They mean the same thing. So these 2 groups are equal. So neither of them has fewer or less. We would circle the 2 of them together because they are equal. Let's look at a few more groups and see if they're equal. Back into our zoo animals, we have tigers and alligators. Here we go. Let's use our matching strategy. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 10. So both groups have 10, so are they equal? Absolutely. So I would circle the 2. On this example, I'm going to give you a few seconds, and I want you to look. You have a lot to count. And then we will stick with the counting strategy on this one. All right, so take a look at the camels and the hippos. Yeah, I already heard someone yell that out at home. Let's go ahead and count these, not the matching, just the counting strategy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 17 camels. Whoops. All right, now let's go over here to the hippos and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, we had 17 and 12. Which one? Oh, I'm sorry. The question is, are they equal? And are they? No, they're not equal, so we would mark them out. Bonus question, which one has fewer or less? Yeah, our hippos. All right. Let's look one more time to see if the dots are equal. I'm going to give you a few seconds at home, and then you can just shout it out, yes or no. Yeah, you're right. They are equal. Both of them have 7, and we can count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pat yourself on the back. Nice job. All right, and last one, we're going to look at the 10 frame, and you'll notice there's something different at the bottom here. This is what I previewed a minute ago with you about what's coming up next week. So let's actually count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to pop a 9 right here, and I heard someone say you didn't even have to count because it's just a 10 frame minus 1. All right, so 9. And looking here, I see the same alignment, but I'll go ahead and count for good measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoops, 6, 7, 8, 9. Writing on the board with my sleeve. The 9's down here at the bottom where I'm writing the number. Remember, we're going to take away the picture for next week. So we're just kind of stair-stepping ourselves into that by adding the numbers at the bottom. Is 9 equal to 9? Yep, absolutely. So we would circle this, yes, they are equal. Let's take a look at your packet. So today we're going to be on page 4, and it has the elephants and an octopus or squid as your first example. This is the same as what we practiced yesterday, except we're going to be looking for the least amount, which is fewer or less, instead of greater. So let's do A together. You're going to be looking at the elephants and our second group, and you can mark them out or you can count them and check our answer. So you can do that while I'm getting ready. Okay, I've counted. Some of you may have done the matching strategy, and I had that we had 11 elephants and 12 here. So the least amount, or the amount with fewer, would be elephants. If you got that at home, give me a big thumbs up. Excellent. All right, let's look at B. We have camels and turtles. All right, this time I'm going to use the matching strategy, but this is super easy because they're in groups of 5. So I'm going to treat it like a 10 frame. So this would be 10 and 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, and I have a couple turtles left over, so what does that mean? Our group of camels is the group with the least amount, sorry. Okay? And on your next set, we're not going to do these together. I'm going to let you do these at home, but you can see that we're continuing the same pattern. Which group has the least amount? And then you even have apples and bananas, just like the video we saw today from Mage Math. So let's look at a couple different activities. Building a group with less. Now, This says we do. This is something you can do at home. Yesterday, I showed you this page from your packet on page 19 with the circles. And we talked about putting cars in here. And today, I'm going to use those buttons that I told you about yesterday. But before we do that, let's talk about how we can do a group of less or fewer. So we're going to work backwards today. Last time, the counters were on this side, and we added one more to make a group of more or greater. Today, we're going to kind of work this direction. I want to know how many I have first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, the easiest thing to do when we're practicing just one more or one less is to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to take those 11 and draw them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But that's an equal group. How do I make it one less? I'm going to take one of those away. So I'm just going to scribble that out because it's easier than finding my eraser. And if you're at home and drawing this, you could just erase it, you could exit out, or if we're using objects, just pull one away. All right? Let's try another group. Okay, let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to put that same group here, and someone already said it. You know exactly how many we should draw. But let's start with our equal group. And here's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I'm going to take one away, and that makes my group of fewer or less 14. Okay? And let's take a look at this one. Look at the directions. Build an equal group. So watch your directions in your packet because a couple of these are sprinkled in there, so you really have to be paying attention to, are you making a group of the same or are you making a group that is less? Now, this should be pretty easy because we've been practicing this strategy the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to put the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And those are equal or the same. 9 here, 9 here. And one more, a group with less. Take a moment at home and think about how many would we put here. I'll give you some time. Yeah, I heard so many say it already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of you don't even need this step. You already knew that it was 5, but I like to see that I'm taking it away. Okay, let's jump into what we can do at home. More to explore. I want to make sure I talk to you about the buttons because I mentioned that yesterday and didn't get back to it. So let's look at our visual here. I have the 2 circles, and what I want to do is put a group in the first circle like I did yesterday. And I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buttons. And notice they're not the same. They're not the same size. That's totally fine. So I have my 7 buttons. Oh, I'm sorry. I have 8 buttons. Now, I want a group of fewer or less, so I can make any number. It doesn't have to be one less. I could do any number that's less than 8. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What do you think? Is 5 less than 8? I think so, but let's use our matching strategy to check. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, and I ran out of buttons in that group I created, so yes, that was a group that was less. All right? So you could continue that, or we talked about using hula hoops, or you could even use just 2 different rugs that you have if you have some welcome mats. And I want to show you how you could use some laundry. Now, I promise these socks are clean. I took them out of our laundry and then pulled them apart for this activity. So I'm going to show you with socks how you could do this because maybe you don't have buttons, and that's fine. So I'm going to make a group here of 4 socks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to build a group that's less. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Is 3 less than 4? Absolutely. If I did this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that group is what? Greater. Good. And if I took those away, and match them up, I have an equal set. So this is a fun game for you to do with a sibling or someone in your home, or you could even just practice by yourself. But it's a really fun way to take things that you have at home. Remember, we saw fruit from our Mage Math video, and you can compare groups of objects to see which one is greater, which one is less, or are they equal. Today's code word is sleep, S-L-E-E-P. So make sure that you check in with us and let us know that you were watching today. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.